Hey everyone, Michelle here, personal trainer and lifestyle coach. Today we are here to talk about our May 2023 theme of the month, testing your dietary awareness. Now, last month what we did is we tracked our food and we created this dietary roadmap for ourselves. Better awareness of where we were going, what we were consuming, and how much we were consuming. So now is where we put it to the test. What I want you to do is throughout the month, we are not going to be tracking our food, but we are going to be estimating our food. So we took our portion sizes, we started to learn how much things weigh or what things looked like when they were a certain amount. And what I'd like you to do is throughout the month, test yourself. Say, this looks or feels like half a cup of this or 4 ounces of that, and then test it out, weigh it out, measure it out, see if you're accurate, see how close you are, and if you need to reestablish those expectations so that we can continue to be more accurate about the things that we're consuming and making sure that we are consuming regular portion sizes as well. The other piece that you can do is to kind of estimate what your macros are. We didn't talk too much about that last month, but your protein, your carbs, and your fats are a really important part of making sure that you're consuming some things that work well for you in your diet. So being able to look at an item and think that it has, approximately this much protein in it, approximately this many carbs, etc., is actually a really helpful tool as well. So making sure that we are having a big variety of foods, so that we have all of our micronutrients, but then also making sure that we're getting the appropriate macronutrients for you in your diet. So this might be the month where we can get a little bit more dialed in about what you're consuming. Last month was more just tracking what you were eating. Now we can manipulate a little bit more of what we're eating. So one of the things that we just talked about was establishing maybe what the appropriate amount of protein would be for you. Now, protein is one of the foods that has the highest thermic effect of food. Basically, it takes a little bit more energy to be able to consume. So it is really important for a population, especially those who are active, to make sure that they are getting the appropriate amount of protein. So maybe we can concentrate a little bit more on how much protein you should be getting or what your split is between your other macronutrients like your carbs and your fats. So now we get to dial in a little bit more. We get to test our knowledge. We get to see if we are in the right ballpark when it comes to what we're consuming. Now, one of the other things that we talked about was the idea of intuitive eating. And the biggest issue, as we agreed about intuitive eating, is that if we haven't established good eating habits, then sometimes you aren't quite able to read your body correctly. So sometimes it's not always the smartest idea to just do what your body is wanting, but it is important to pay attention to those cues and be able to figure out maybe what your body is asking for and if it is appropriate for you to be able to listen to it, right? We want to be smart about our decisions. We want to make these decisions intelligently, and we have the information from this last month to see how foods affect ourselves. Now, this is also a really great month for if you would like to do some food interaction journaling, to be able to write down what foods you notice might make a difference for you, maybe better energy or lower energy. If you feel like you might have a sensitivity to a food, this is where we can tweak it and maybe take something in or put something out. So we want to maybe make these small tweaks and be able to track them a little bit more, but not as formally as we did the last month, right? More about just paying attention and listening to yourself, listening to your body, and being able to test that knowledge that we established this past month. Now make sure that any of the changes that you make are sustainable changes, because it's one of the most important pieces of making any dietary changes for yourself. One of the first things that I ask my clients when they ask about a piece of new dietary advice is that sustainable? Is it something that you can continue to do for the rest of your life? Because if the answer is no, then more than likely you're not going to be able to maintain it. You're not going to be able to get the benefits out of that change. So keep in mind that that's a really important piece as well. We have our variety, we have our sustainability. We're gonna make these small tweaks and be able to use the information that we established last month to have a better idea and make smarter decisions about our diet going forward. Thanks so much, and I'll talk to y'all soon.